This is a game called Rear Window, based on the movie by Alfred Hitchcock.
Starring Jimmy Stewart.
Exactly. This is published by published and developed by Funko Games. I'm gonna go through a quick teach on how this game is played, and then we will quickly reset everything for a proper game here. This is playable from anywhere from 2 to 5 players, according to the box. There's really not necessarily a limit because one person takes on the role of the director. Everybody else are watchers that are collectively working on trying to figure out what the director is steering you towards. I'm going to go ahead and remove my little shield for the purposes of the teach. I'll put this back after I've gone over how this game works. Over on this side of the board, there are going to be... actually, we'll set them up wherever is convenient for you guys. There's going to be a total... You are, during setup, you'll choose from all this huge tray full of attribute tokens. 12 attributes to play with during the game. There's 5 copies of each attribute token. You'll pull off one of each of those, as well as one of the 2 murder tokens. Flip them all face down, mix them all up, and pass them over to me. Then I, without looking at them, will place them on my board over here, which will be hidden behind that screen, so that you guys don't get to see it. And these are solutions that you guys are trying to find. I'm then also going to take 4 out of the 8 resident tokens and place them on these spaces. Maybe there will be a rhyme or reason to it. Maybe there won't be. Whatever. Also, just because I needed to look a couple of these words up, and so that I can make myself look stupid instead of making one of my guests stupid look stupid tonight.
Oh, I don't need help with that. I'm pretty good.
I'm gonna show you a couple of words here. Gourmand, that is someone who really likes to eat. Virtuoso, I was pretty sure I knew it, but I looked it up anyway. That is typically somebody who's really good at playing a musical instrument. Could just be somebody who's good at the arts in general. And the other one, très chic. Again, I was pretty sure I knew it, but I looked it up just in case. That's just somebody who's really stylish. Right. If you've got any other questions, I mean, I think the rest are pretty self-explanatory. But
what's athlete?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Nothing?
Yeah. One who is elite at athing.
Oh, yeah.
Glad I could help.
I know that guy.
Okay. I have it on good authority that 2 of you don't need help looking stupid. Thanks, Danica. Okay, so this might be what my board could look like. You guys won't get to see this, though. I will then, once we finished the setup process, you guys will have access to your 12 tokens plus a murder token, and you'll have access to 4 copies of each of the resident tokens as well. Then, I'm going to draw 8 cards from the window deck that's over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'm going to look at these tokens and the cards that are in my hand. This is kind of what they look like. So you can see they'll match the colors of certain residents if they've got that resident on them. They'll be gray if they don't, and all of them have like other stuff going on. Different imagery and stuff that like Mysterium, I will be using to try and point you towards attributes or towards that resident that's in this picture. Pay attention to that, maybe? Who knows? Game is played over the span of 4 days, and you guys are all...
Hang on, I didn't put enough time for this. Yeah,
I know. You guys are holed up in the apartment across the street, and you're looking out with your binoculars, just like in the movie, spying on your neighbors. And you're looking into these windows, and you're gonna see some stuff. So I might play something like that there. I might let's zoom in on that just a little bit more. So I might play that there. I might put this guy right here. What else have I got? I'll probably put that one there. And then boy, I don't like much.
Just like Mysterium or Deception.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I got some.
I don't like much of what's left with these cards. So there's a couple things I can do about that. Firstly, I always have the option to play a card face down on the table. Generally speaking, that probably means I don't like this card. I don't have anything good to put in this window, and that's what I'm going to put there. There might be another scenario where I might be trying to steer you astray, but generally speaking, this is a cooperative game. There's just a slim chance of a little something spicy happening. We'll get to that in a second.
Chicanery.
And honestly, even under those circumstances, most likely this card isn't going to mean anything. Even if you were to see what's on the other side. If I'm playing it face down, it's probably because it's not worth it. But I also have the option. I have 3 Director's Cut tokens over here. I can, at any time, I can spend one of these tokens to discard any number of cards from my hand. You don't get to know how many. But I can discard, let's pretend I didn't play this, because why would I lay that and then play a cut token? Discard any number of cards from my hand to a private face-down discard pile. Draw up that number of cards.
We don't get to know.
You don't get to know how many I just tossed and then redrew.
Although we can count how many.
You can count how many cards are left here, or maybe pay attention to it. Yeah, I don't say how many I'm getting rid of. And then I can continue playing cards. So let's maybe I'll put this right here, and then maybe this one right here, and then I still don't like these cards, so I'm just gonna put them all face down. All right, and then while I'm laying cards, and then obviously after I'm done laying cards down, you guys can freely discuss amongst yourselves what you think I'm trying to steer you towards. And generally speaking, I am trying to steer you towards the correct solutions. When you think you have figured something out, you place the corresponding token on that space. And once you've locked in all of them, let's just go ahead and play some craft places. Here and there, and give me a couple more of these, just for example's sake. Actually, that does bring up a point. Maybe you think this lady, I mean, I don't know why you would with these cards, but just for the argument's sake, maybe you think this lady could be in either one of these locations. You can never play 2 copies of the same token on the same deck. So you have to pick one guess and stick with it. Okay. So, let's say that those are your answers. Once you've got them all locked in, I'm going to look at what you've put down and look at the solutions. Count up how many are in the right place. It's not just which tokens are on my board, but which ones are in the right spot as well. Then I'm going to take one of these 4 black cubes and put it on the number of correct answers you've got. I think that's right. That means you have 4 out of the 8 tokens correct in the correct place. You don't get to know which ones are in the correct place. In the unlikely event that you have nothing right, I just put the cube next to the board. But that's hopefully not going to happen. Then
believe in us.
Then we will flip over the day 2 board. Oh, also, as soon as I've played my 8 cards, I'll draw 8 more immediately. So I'll have 8 cards in my hand while you guys are doing this. Once this is done, we'll move on to day 2. I'll play 8 more cards and we'll rinse and repeat until, hopefully, you get all 8 right. If you do, we all win the game. Unless One of these 4 tokens that gets selected at the beginning is the murder token. Then the win conditions change a little bit. In order for me to win, I need you guys to get 6 or 7 tokens correct at the end of day 4, but not the murder token correct. In order for you guys to win, if there's a murder token on the board, you need to get 7 or 8 tokens correct, including the murder token. Make sense? If you figure out that a murder happened somewhere and you get at least 6 of the other ones right, you win. If there is, well, regardless of whether there's a murder token in play or not, you only get 1 of these. You cannot use it until day 4. So the rest of them, you've got enough to guess the same thing all 4 days. The murder token you can only play on day 4. The one last thing that I want to talk about that I skipped over are these purple background attribute tokens. These make the game harder for all of us, because if one of these is in play, it's also going to have a resident on it. Oh, couldn't be that guy. Couldn't be that one either. There we go. So if one of these is in play, it's going to have a resident on it as well. When you guess that, you're going to have to guess it with a resident. I can only count that as a correct answer if both parts of it are right. If both that token is in play, it's in the right spot, and the resident on it is also correct. Yeah. And it's an all or nothing 1 point, period. If any part of it is wrong, it doesn't count for anything. If all of it is right, it counts for 1, and that's it.
That's brutal.
So you guys get to choose the 12 that are in the pool. They recommend not playing with the purple ones on your first game.
Only play purple.
All purples.
Last thing. If you don't feel like you can... Actually, two more things. If you don't feel like you can trust me, you guys have a shield screen of your own. So you can point to stuff and discuss privately a little bit, just to kind of obfuscate your conversation from me, if you don't feel like you can trust me. But again, I need you to get close, even if there is a murder. So I'm gonna be steering you in the right direction for the most part. And the other thing is, you guys have, I have my director's cut tokens that I can use to help me out. You guys have some watcher tokens that you can use to help us all out. Let's go over what all of those are. These are one-time use powers that are available to you throughout the course of the game. L.B. Jeffries, played by Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart. That's right.
You can use his power to choose a face-down card that's on the current day. Choose any one of these face-down cards to get rid of it, and then I get to play a new card from the 8 that are currently in my hand to that window. I could still play it face-down, but that's probably going to make you pretty suspicious because I have 8 to choose from. Maybe they all suck for it. Who knows? But if you want more information about a face-down window, you can use that power to discard it. Once you've used it, you flip him face down to indicate you've used that power. You can't use it again. So that's him. Then we've got Stella McGaffrey. This one, I'll be honest, I find this one. I find it hard to imagine a scenario where this one's particularly useful. But you can choose any day that has window cards on it. So, and you probably wouldn't use her power until after day 1. Choose any day, and pick a face-down window on that day to look at it. See what's on the other side of this card. You don't want to leave it face up because I did play it face down and there was probably a reason for that. But you can then go back and check it again if you want to. Just to indicate that that's the one you used it on, you'll put that token on that card to help you keep track. The more useful powers, I think. Lisa Fremont has the ability for you to choose any window card that is in play. Could be on the current day, could be on a previous day. Choose any window card for me to indicate what the important aspect is to pay attention to with a little token. So if I play that there, I'm saying don't pay attention to the dude, pay attention to something else that's on there or something like that. So that's her power. And lastly, Detective Lieutenant Tom Doyle has a really good one. You can point to any token on a previous day. This will be during your deliberation phase before you've locked in on your answers. So say it's day 2. You can point to any one of the tokens on day 1, and I will give you a yes or a no on that specific token. I believe that covers everything. Hey, thanks for hanging out. If you want to spend more time with us, do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, head on over to twitch.tv/BNB Tabletop and give us a follow there. We play board games live every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific time on a show we call The Board and Barrel. And we like to keep things interactive. You guys can influence what happens throughout the course of a game with our Buff and Nerf house rules. You can also make predictions on how things are going to pan out, play virtual bingo for a chance to win a free board game of your own, and heckle us and stuff from the chat. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you Sunday night.